I don't have a bubbly, so you're just going to get that. Wait, let me make sure I'm not blowing at your ears maybe a little bit. I'm so hot and I'm so tired, but I wanted to wear this jacket. It's vintage. Please, it's vintage. The animal's been dead since the 70s and now it has a home. It would have been dead back then and now it's kind of alive in some sort, so don't come for me. I don't have a bubbly, but ooh, I gotta light a candle. This one's for the bad bitches. This one's for the girl bosses too close to the sun. This one's for the leading ladies, the quirky queens, the SHE-roes, which we will be getting into today. Okay, let me... fuck. Ouch. Oh, I lit my nail. Okay. Oh, and as you can see, I set designed. These ones I got for Robbie. They didn't have red ones. She's like, I need red roses means romantic. We don't have any color around here because if they're not red, they're not romantic. I don't want to be your friend. But I went to a florist and they didn't have red roses. They're like, we have hot pink ones. And I'm like, do you want me to die? Do you want me to kill myself? Or maybe it'll be a homicide. If I put hot pink roses by her bed... It's too feminine for her, okay? So then they were like, oh, well, we have these antique ones. I was like, antique? Just like my baby. Precious. And old at heart. And they smell delicious. Okay. But instead of a bubbly, I do have a probiotic. I'll do something good. I'll do something good for the girlies in the GI tract. You know what they say. Healthy gut, healthy butt. So let me open this and slurp it down. Maybe off camera because I know a couple of you are not going to want and watching me gobble gulp a couple gulps of bacteria-ridden probiotic viscous fluid, highly recommended for constipation, for I should have a bowel obstruction right now because my medications. Let's see how many strains. Oh, 50 billion. You guys really should. Okay, I'll save the rest for later. Now that I'm done catering to my bowels and talking about my other side effects, but I do have one more. I cannot have an O to save my life, no matter how much I grunt and squeeze and flick the bee. But I am hoping it comes soon, or else I will turn into a wrinkly and decrepit lady, an old lady like the one I'd seen in Malta with her forearm so wrinkly it looked like a prosthetic, and I'm sure it was because she couldn't come. She lost all the collagen and her will to live, which is why she bakes outside in the sun waiting for melanoma and melanoma. So I did take a Viagra. It was fun, and a psychiatrist prescribed it, okay? You know I love a good prescription med. It was about equal to the codeine cough syrup, I'd say. Kind of fun going down, and not really a high. But then you hit the little blur pill and you get freaky deaky. The codeine cough syrup doesn't do that to me. It just gives me a good night's sleep, but it's functional. And this is the difference between men and women, is we can talk about our erectile dysfunction. We'll laugh about it. It's so funny. And I just take a half a pill instead of staying in denial and taking it out on Gina at the Chipotle counter. No, I said 3 scoops of steak and brown rice. I'm on the protein, as he reaches over the buffet glass and reaches for her neck, but instead he only grabs the Chipotle visor. Thank God. Okay, anyways, I do want to say that this is a trigger warning for topics of sexual abuse, abuse in general, murder, etc., etc. We are talking about the American Sheroes who deserve justice, and women who honestly have like the bravery and gall to speak up and protect other women no matter the consequences, and in both cases they were dire. So we're going to be talking about Virginia Giuffre and Aileen Wuornos. I'm almost done with Virginia Giuffre's memoir. It's been out for a couple weeks. I devoured the first part of it, but then I've been sleepy and busy. I only have I'm on the Kindle, so I have 15% left, but she is number one on the Amazon book list, number one bestseller right now, and kicked out Mel Robbins, thank fuck, and all of her fake shit that all stemmed from Eastern religion anyway. Quack, quack, she's a quack. Quack, quack, quack. Okay, but enough about her. I'm going to start with Virginia Giuffre. I read her posthumous memoir. If you don't know what that means, it means after you're dead. Virginia Giuffre is one of Epstein's victims. She's probably the most prominent. I would say she's been out in the media a bunch, talking about one of being, a victim. She can't continue her advocacy now for sex trafficking laws and keeping young girls and women safe because she's posthumous. But at least we have her book, and that really is why she started to kind of become such a public figure in the media and do everything she can with trial after trial after trial and working with all these lawyers because she wanted to make change. She had a daughter, and she was like, I don't want this to happen to young girls. The title's called Nobody's Girl, and it's kind of sad. I don't every time I see it kind of on my Kindle, I read on a Kindle, okay? I take a little longer. I'm nobody's girl. Is that sweet, empowered? Has she overcome all kinds of control and ownership and now she's nobody's girl? Or is it she's nobody's girl, nobody has protected her, nobody, had wanted her, nobody had kept her safe. So kind of a double entendre, if you will. But it's harrowing at times, literally nauseating, the kind of sadistic pain that was inflicted on her. But she's it's a balanced book. It talks about her as a whole person, which I like. She, it's really hard to read, but she goes back and forth between her current life and then all of the sexual abuse and her absolutely terrible life before. But of course now allegations are coming out about her husband that he domestically abused her to the point where at some point he broke her sternum and left her with such black eyes that the police was like, I'm surprised her orbital bone wasn't broken. And then, she died by suicide in April, they say. There's conspiracies out there that are did she die or did she die? Obviously she was trying to be hushed the whole time since she became public, but her brother did an interview. First of all, 60 Minutes Australia is killing it. They do so many good interviews. I don't know where they came from or why over there in Australia. I don't know what else they're known for besides, I guess, kangaroos, koalas, and the 60 Minutes. But her brother did an interview, and he had found her. He had ran an errand. He was staying with her, and in Australia, came back. The door was locked, and he did CPR for 45 minutes. So I don't know if there's an autopsy or what. But I mean, I don't know. Who's to say? I know they're looking at me and they're censoring me, and you can form your own opinion. But it's hard to talk about all at once. I highly, highly recommend you read it just because obviously a lot of us are women. It's about very tangible topics. And It honors her. And just what I got out of it is just like the cycle of abuse and how it's so hard to stop. Like she had a terrible life right from the beginning. She was molested by her father, who's a depraved pedophile fuck, starting at the age of 6. Like, I don't actually know what has to be wrong with you or your mind that you would want to get intimate with a 6-year-old. Like, it's literally nauseating. People are like, oh, it's a psychological thing. It's like, it's more than a sickness. It's more than a sickness. It's literally, it's beyond depraved. It's sadistic. It feels like a weird power thing that you just want to get away and get off by doing the worst thing ever that can happen to a child, and you get off by it. Like, I don't know, but there is, like, obviously it's so complicated. I've never been, I can't really speak to it. I've never been sexually abused, but just from what she was saying, it's like there's so much manipulation around it, obviously, because not only are you being like sexually abused by your father, but you still want to love him, and your instinct is to love him and get his approval. Like, you're too young to suss out your feelings. She said sometimes like she was mixed with pleasure and disgust, because her body did get like turned on, and it would like kind of feel good, but it like turned against her. Obviously, like, we understand how anatomy works. It's just such complicated feelings. But he would like sneak into her room at night, like finger her. I'm so sorry for like the explicit details, honestly. The mom was obviously in denial and took it out on Virginia, even though Virginia remembers like the mom kind of being witness to one night where she saw the door cracked and like the mom was listening, but obviously did absolutely nothing to protect her. She was abused so bad and so often that she had recurring UTIs at like 7 or 8. It's like, that's just not normal. So you take her to the doctor, and then the medical personnel seems to like turn her head, or said that she was riding horses. Like, I'm sorry, but like, get your head out of your ass and choose to look the right way for once. It's not from horses at this young of an age, or else we'd see it prominently in horseback riders. Like, obviously it's something nefarious. Obviously there's something like really bad and foreign and damaging that's happening to her vaginal area. Like, please, like, help children. But and it kind of started like, not started, I mean, it couldn't even have started, but her father like kind of trafficked her to his friend, and then his friend sexually abused her and took her virginity. I don't even know what age she doesn't say, but I'm like maybe 10, 11, 12 it seems. But it's like, these men should be castrated with no sedation. They're disgusting. And she's been just running away from danger like her whole life. She was sent to one of those facilities where you like drop off your kids, so because they're bad, and then they like treat them even worse under the guise of love, and like, oh, we're gonna heal them, but really they're treating them like animals, literally feeding them slop, physically, again, abusing them. So she was put into a place like this. She ran away. When she ran away, she was raped multiple times, like literally just trying to eat and like find a meal. So she was picked up by an initial rapist who like put a gun in her mouth. This is at like 15. Then was stopped by a limo who again raped her. Like, I think this is one of the things too that like I kind of took away, is like almost how do people get themselves in these positions, and like, why can't they stop? Why can't you see signs? But she was just abused her whole life, like with nobody protecting her. So you didn't know when to trust people, when not to trust people. Like, she literally needed to eat, and these men were like, basically, I'll feed you, and like she needed a ride somewhere to go, so they're like, I'll drive you, and then raped her. It is like, it's so sad, but it's just kind of, what happens when you're stuck in this cycle of abuse. So So this all happened even before she had met Ghislaine and Epstein. So it was almost like, women who go through this are kind of like primed for this sort of life. And it's absolutely devastating, and it's so hard to break the cycle. But it's like she's literally all alone, just trying to survive. And her survival comes by being raped by men. It's kind of like the only thing she knows. But at 16, she started working at Mar-a-Lago because her dad worked there. So you'll kind of learn her dad and hers relationship is still very on and off, because again, she had nobody else, and at least he was providing her with a job. But that's where Ghislaine first trafficked her. She saw her outside. She was being driven, rolled down her window. I think was do you work here, whatever, then followed her to work the next day, where she was working at the receptionist's office. Normally she was in the back, but it was too hot. And Virginia was studying an anatomy book or something, and Ghislaine was oh, do you know how to give massages? Are you in massage school? And Virginia was no, I just like to learn. And Ghislaine was oh, don't worry about it. I bet you're just really good at it. So don't care what you have to say. Obviously, I'm a predator and a creep and using anything that you're reading against you. So why don't you come over tonight and give my friend Epstein a massage? And then kind of the rest is history a little bit with, we know a lot of the men who have trafficked her, and we've known the story kind of. But it's a hard read because of all the abuse and just the sadistic things that have happened to her, but she knows it literally, so that's why she breaks from the past and then her present kind of family life. Of course, this was before all the allegations of her husband, but she literally, right when things started to get too heavy for me, I read her words and it was please don't stop reading, I will give you a break. So she knew it, obviously. But yeah, so whatever, the first night at Epstein, she remembers the pink building. He was give me a massage. Ghislaine taught her how to. And then during the massage was kind of the word for sex and what she did, when these men would traffic her. So he would tell her to do certain things, and then he would rape her or have her do various different sexual acts to him. And then he would make her bathe him in the shower with a washcloth. What are you, a baby or a molester of a baby? Which one is it? Who are you? You can't even wash your own asshole. So then when she was trafficked to all these other billionaires, incredibly powerful men, literally prime ministers, that was their, I guess, delegation, do for him what you do for Giuffre, or he would be do for this guy what you do for me. And that would mean starting with the massage and basically getting raped. And then, she talks about when she met her husband and after, they would have sex, that she would immediately bring a washcloth to him to clean him afterwards. She was so ingrained with this kind of manipulated behavior and, indoctrinated in this weird sex ritual, that she thought this was normal. And he was whoa, 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 what are you doing? This isn't normal. But she had never experienced anything else. So, and it's we don't even know how many men she was trafficked to. I don't even know if she knows. There's hundreds. Her lawyers and people she was working with would keep bringing more pictures and more pictures. And then she'd be oh yes, this guy. She obviously didn't know their names because Epstein wouldn't tell her. But she was when you're this close to an old, ugly, fucker, depraved man raping you, you remember his face. So she kept identifying, more and more men that she was trafficked to. These men have hog-tied her, raped her so bad she was profusely bleeding, would laugh in her face at the trauma and the damage they would do. Multiple men almost killed her and literally laughed. We know one of the traffickers was Prince Andrew. That's all coming to light. There's lots of stuff on that if you're interested, but whatever. He's just a decoy. We're just having one person take the fall. Like all these emails linked, and it's probably Ghislaine to protect Trump, to like for us to look somewhere else. Because Andy is so embarrassing, and he's entitled, and he does think that he should be getting away with these acts, like these depraved sex acts against minors. Nobody, not in the White House, nobody in whatever the fuck the royal family likes him because he's such a freak. He's ostracized and people think he's gonna run. So I guess we'll see where that goes. But she has that famous picture of them too, where she's like 16, Ghislaine's in there. She had it taken because she liked to take pictures of her Kodak camera. I wish she took more pictures. I'm sure she does too, just to implicate these men. But he like straight up lied and was like, yeah, that's me, but that picture's not real. I've never met that woman. Like, which one is it, you idiot? That's you. Just say it's not you or something, but we know it's you. Say it's AI, but it's like AI wasn't even around back then. And like, he was like kind of good looking in the beginning. Andy, that's what they call Prince Andrew. But I think when you're involved in these pedophilia rings and you're so interested in little girls, then your face literally turns into a pedo face. It's like, from sordid sex acts on children, it's like pillow face from the filler, or any kind of a different face, like him, and now he literally looks like a pedo face. It's disgusting. I've never had to look at him in the eye, thank God, but I can't even look at him in the eye through YouTube. He's so disgusting. He looks like one, like they have a look. And I feel like this book, another big takeaway for me was like what actually is sex trafficking and what it can look like. And I know it sounds naive, but I know I'm kind of like not alone. Like when you hear sex traffic, you're like a young girl picked up from the gas station in a white van, which like literally did happen to her. She's kept in a basement and then, given from like house to house or something. Like, also equally terrible, and maybe that's a form of sex trafficking, but I didn't expect it, I guess, to look like how Virginia Giuffre's experience was. Like, I don't know, it looked different in practice, which sounds like sterile and cold, but I guess she, reading it from a victim who've like seen all these interviews, we know what her face looks like it humanizes it, and it's it's her POV, and she's a very like normal person, which all of these women. That's why I'm like, we don't, what release the Epstein files, sure, but it's like, I want to know from the victims, like we have to humanize these women and these victims. But this is sex trafficking. Obviously, people are like, well, why couldn't she just escape or run away? But it's like, she's been running away her whole life. She was obviously scared of them, threatened by them. They threatened her numerous times. They manipulated her so she would stay. And this was the only means that she knew how to survive, literally from a young kid. Like it goes back to your basic needs. Like she was getting fed. Like she didn't know how to literally live kind of without this, especially coming from such an abused childhood. She was like so like strung out from Xanax and alcohol, trying to disassociate from all these pedo-face pervert fucks who raped her and abused her and assaulted her, that, Epstein was like kind of like kicked her out. And so she left and she tried to get a couple jobs, but she couldn't hold one down. First of all, she has no job experience. How does she explain what she's been doing to make money? She's coming down off Xanax. She's in the throes of this sex trafficking abuse. Like people like that just cannot get a normal job. She had no support, no family, people in her life she paid for. So it's like she can't just like leave and get a normal job. Like she is stuck mentally, physically. And then it came out that like she didn't have a relationship. We were talking about her dad, her family, no one there to protect her. Epstein paid her dad off in hush money, which her dad obviously never told Virginia. She found out, because he knew she was getting trafficked. The dad knew that something fucked up was going on. Like, why is she traveling to all these places? What is she doing? He didn't intervene. The mom didn't intervene. Like, everyone failed her, and her dad took the money. So it's just like right when you think things can't get even more fucked up, they do. And they say like family is the one factor that can make a difference on being homeless or not. But she had no safety net. She had no one to catch her when she fell. Literally nobody protecting her. So it was like being in this sex trafficking ring or being homeless or being dead. And when she was homeless, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of homeless women, they're raped all of the time. So at least I guess she felt like she was being protected. Like she does mention Stockholm syndrome, and she thought that she was Giuffre's favorite because he would tell that to her and be like, kind of like, oh, you mean so much to me, your words are so meaningful. But he used that psychological manipulation into getting her to stay. So this is like obviously his forte into manipulating young women and children, which we just know like she's a child. She's literally a child. She's 16. Imagine where you were at 16, what kind of fucked up shit we believed back then. And then this is like just so in your face. She didn't get a break. Like this was literally all she knew. Nobody was telling her, this is wrong, you can get out. Like she had to come up with this idea all on her own. But it's like, well, they were like, oh, she did it for the money. Like, whatever. She got one outfit when she met the prince, which obviously she's a teenager. So she wanted to wear a white tank and patterned jeans, which is the same outfit she wore to Naomi Campbell's birthday party, which there's pictures of both. The Epstein and Ghislaine didn't even try and protect her. She was at this celebrity Hollywood party, not dressed in like a gown at Naomi Campbell's on a yacht. She's dressed in a t-shirt and jeans. She looks like a 16-year-old. Like people knew what was going on. And she said that Naomi Campbell was an asshole. So she did sell her out. Nobody else. Nobody of the other sex traffickers, but Naomi Campbell. So it's like, what money? Sure they paid her to like get an apartment and maybe gave her cash, but it's like almost like obviously no amount of money would make it worth it. And it wasn't even about the money. It was about the psychological manipulation and abuse that she really felt, she was stuck. She was afraid for her life. She didn't know where else to go. And she thought these people would track her down and kill her, which like, who knows if they did. But she like wasn't a person to them. She wasn't human. She was just a sex toy. So I think her memoir, it's like she died, but at least we have her memoir, and she really is a hero for all she's done for advocacy. But it does humanize like sex trafficking experiences. People think that prostitutes and women aren't people. They don't deserve to live, almost like they deserve this. But she was incredibly charismatic. She's smart. She's immediately likable in all of her interviews and articulate and literally just normal. Like watching her in these interviews, I'm like, how did she overcome all of this? She just seemed so normal. Like, you see an interview of like whatever people who have been through this kind of abuse, and it's like, oh yeah, they're fucked up. Like obviously look at what they went through. But if you like met her on the street, you just think she was an amazing mom who loved her kids, who's totally normal and had a happy childhood. Like she's like, I don't know, her strength just comes through. And like her strength and her bravery, I mean, when she started speaking out, like she was threatened and tried to be hushed by Epstein and Ghislaine. Scary people would show up at her door with their headlights on late at night. She'd have to hide her kids and wave her pistol out the door to get them to go the fuck away. Paparazzi was chasing her. Journalists were calling her and then twisting her words and manipulating her story. Like she was never safe. Epstein and Ghislaine called her and was like, what, you're not going to say anything, right? Like these people are terrifying people. She probably knows that they've killed other people even. Like she just wants to live in peace. So eventually, like, so she did escape because they finally sent her to massage school, which like was supposed to be a reward. She begged in Thailand. They paid for the schooling and the hotel, and normally Ghislaine will keep the passports of the women being sex trafficked because she is the whatever mad fucking damn, and they don't have any autonomy or control of their own lives. But they sent her off. I think at this point they thought like they had her in her clutches enough, and it had been going on for enough time. She left once and came back. She was really good. She was still young. Like, they're like, okay. And they sent her to Thailand also for this massage school and to sex traffic a specific Thai young girl who was probably asked for by Prince Andrew because he has an affinity apparently for Thai girls. And I don't even know how they find them, but they have like a menu. It's so fucking sick of women, and then the sex traffickers get to pick theirs out like a la carte. It's like, it's literally disgusting. But so she went to Thailand. She was like going out and stuff, finally had some freedom, met her boyfriend, or her now husband. And like, I think he kind of helped her, you know, be like, he asked her to marry her. He asked her to marry him in like 3 days, and she was just looking for an escape. She was like, okay, this is finally it. Obviously, you're in another country. You need to get the fuck out. This is your one chance. So she took it. So she did escape. People are like, why didn't she escape? She did escape, actually. She did. You have to wait for the time is right, and then she got the fuck out of there. But as abused victims, as it goes, we know she fell into the arms of another abuser. She cannot get a break. It's so sad what this woman has gone through. It's harrowing, like literally heartbreaking. And she did. She hid it from the media, obviously, because she was probably sick of being a victim and just like wanted to protect her family. But you know, it's like when you're abused like this, it's like no amount of like talk therapy can really help you. People are like, you know, just do it and like get better, and underestimate what actually this means and this looks like. Like she was told by a therapist to write down all of the memories she had of like being raped. Like, okay, terrible. And she filled up a whole notebook, literally a whole journal. And then the therapist was like, okay, then light it on fire. Like, we haven't heard this like a million times. So she ripped off the pages one by one and put it in the bonfire. Shocker, she still has trauma. Like, okay, Mel Robbins. But I think she thought, like, you know, kind of going through the criminal system and trying to get these people locked away would finally bring her some justice, and then she could stop chronicling like all of her accounts of abuse. Like, please give her a break. But as we know, the justice system is fucked. And they just don't care, and they protect really powerful people. At the end of the book, they get into a lot of like legal jargon. Like, literally no matter what she does, she gets shut down. She works with these incredible lawyers. She builds cases. They do research for years and years and years. It pretty much takes up her life on like how to kind of go and at least hold these people a little bit accountable, but it just does not work. There's a protection against Epstein for some reason. Ghislaine like just literally lied, did a smear campaign against her, like, which these people are to be believed because they have money and she doesn't. So I feel like, you know, then she just really wanted to turn to advocacy. And we just don't take crimes against women or children seriously. And it's disgusting, and it's sad, and it's a real problem. Like, it's a huge problem. So I feel like after reading this, like, it's like, okay, release the files. We're never going to see the files. And I'm one of those. I am one of those in the comments. Release the file, release the fucking files, release the goddamn file. We want to see the fucking X-Files. But we're not going to see them. They're probably destroyed. So, like, and just like I feel like any kind of atrocity, we don't care. We are so focused on the perpetrators, but not the victims. But after reading her book, it's like, all of the women who have been sex trafficked need to be humanized. Like, this is what I want to read and learn about. I want to know that and I know they are real people, and I want to hear their accounts. Like, we know that these billionaire pedos are sick and twisted and disgusting, and they're never going to go to jail. So at least give them a voice to talk about their experience. And then maybe things will change and will like start to care a little more. The next bad bitch who we lit a candle for. Should I blow it out and light again? No, who has the time? Aileen Wuornos. A lesbian icon, another American Shero, the documentary, which I had been waiting so long for to come out on Netflix. Worth the wait. It's so good. You have to watch it. I don't know if you should be canceling your plans for your own sake. You don't maybe need to cancel plans to watch this, but I suggest you do. It was like not quite what I expected. A little better in some ways, and then other ways I thought we were going to go into like each of her victims. These are victims that I don't give a fuck about because they're men. And she's just giving these men a taste of her own medicine. But the story is like, it's again, truly heartbreaking. At the end, I feel like you have so many complicated emotions, but you just like really feel for her. They call her the quote she's queen of serial killers. She's my queen, all right. She's my queen, all right. She killed like 6 men. Who cares? Nobody cares when women die. Women die all the time and you literally don't even find their bodies, especially prostitutes and sex workers. So she just wanted to give it back to them. All her years of abuse, she took it out on them, and all of them deserve to die, I will say. And also all of her interviews, like she does need Invisalign or veneers or something, but she's a serial killer, hello. But she is like charismatic. I'm sorry, she's fun to watch, and she's rational. Like, she actually makes sense, which I think is why maybe people were afraid of her. She was the first person to kind of like unremorsefully be like, yeah, I killed these men. They tried to kill me first. It makes sense, doesn't it? Like, they're a danger to society. She didn't torture anyone. She didn't put their body in a blender. She didn't dismember them. She didn't fuck their bodies after they were dead. So, which is like what men do to women all the time after they kill them. She just pow a couple in the chest and took their money and walked away. But because she's a woman, and again, because of our unjust, unfair legal system, she got the death penalty. She got the death penalty. Ugh. And she, again, had a terrible childhood. Like, at 6 months, she was found in an attic, like, covered in rats by her grandma and her grandpa. Her grandpa was a pedophile, says the credible sources on Reddit. I don't know how they found that. I guess alleged, the comedy podcast, but this episode isn't very funny. I'm sorry. And so she, had to run away, like, and also eat. And she started to, I think she ran away at like 11 and started to prostitute or something. And she was literally supporting her brothers with the money that she made. Somebody had to support them and somebody had to eat. And she said she had over like 500 Johns, which Johns is my new favorite term in accusations. It means the men partaking in prostitutes. The Johns who don't pay you for sex deserve to die. And just because they do pay you for sex doesn't mean that it's okay to physically abuse and harm and rape the women that you're supposed to pay and kill them. Also kill them. How many prostitutes and sex workers die all the time that, again, we have no fucking clue about? They think sex workers deserve to die when they're actually people. And these men some of them just tried to kill her first. She was held at gunpoint numerous times. She was choked numerous times, a rope tied around her neck. Finally, she said she had a cop friend who was like, get a gun. And then she did, and boy, did she use it. So, and like people compare her to like the worst of the serial killers, like Ted Bundy and yada yada. I forget who the other ones are, but it's like she's not like, who's the one, Brian Koberger, who broke in and stabbed all of these young college kids to death in the middle of the night and multiple stab wounds. No, these men walked into her den, for better or for worse, abused her, tried to kill her, and then she got him first. So it's self-defense. It was truly self-defense. You know, she was literally like, she was just trying to work and make some money. And again, these men just think that it's okay to kill anybody they want, especially like if they're paying them for sex, and then they get away scot-free. They get away. If she would have died, we would have never known her. Nobody would have found her body. The man would never be tried. They'd be walking free. But so it all started, like police started to find like dead bodies up on a Florida highway, and then we're like, okay, who's the serial killer? So weird. All the victims are men. Men never die. Men are never victims. This is a tragedy. And then this lawyer who is like evangelical, into politics, smug fuck, running for some kind of an office, used her for his political gain because he ran on like the dangers of pornography and prostitution, and decided to like spearhead her case and prosecute her. But it turns out that him and the judge had like a long-standing friendship of over 20 years. Are you okay? The corruption. Is everyone okay? And the judge in his pudgy little idiot ugly face didn't even really show that emotion, but sometimes I thought he did. So it's like, do you have a heart? But it doesn't seem like he did. And the judge allowed him, the lawyer, to bring up other murders. She was supposed to be tried independently of each murder, but he brought them all in, swaying the jury, and lied multiple times. And the judge let him. So then she got the death penalty and still had to be tried for all the other murders. So basically, a lesbian love caused her to kill all these men. And honestly, I can relate. She fell in love, tragically, with a brutally ugly snitch. And loving her caused her demise. Literally, it killed her. It gave her death row. And she said, like, because she needed to go out and make money. So she said, you know, killing these men, when she was put in these dangerous scenarios, she would kill these men to make sure that she got another day with her girlfriend Tyra. And I would relate. I'd do anything to see Robbie again. Anything. She was so down bad. She knew it. But then the ogre girlfriend got involved with the police and faked a phone call that was tapped by them to get Aileen to confess. Tyra Shrek, no Fiona, lied and said the police were going after her and contacting her family. And then she was like, you have to make it right. The girlfriend was saying this to Aileen, you have to go make it right. You have to go make it right. You have to confess right now. And if she never would have confessed, or maybe thought about like how she was going to do it, if she was going to turn herself in, she never would have been caught. Or she could have thought about like, okay, if they catch her, then I will plead self-defense. So it was her biggest mistake, as told to this journalist in the doc, Michelle something. Another SHE-roe, an incredible journalist who interviewed Aileen multiple times, sometimes unseen footage. She was always so objective. Her whole thing in journalism was to like bring justice to cases that she thought were wrongful and that needed justice. And she was really on Aileen's side. She believed in her. She helped her tell her story that this was self-defense. And they were getting up from an interview, and the journalist Michelle was like, everyone I talked to say your biggest mistake was self-confessing. All because of her snaggletooth girlfriend, Tyra. Like, this bitch, to love someone so much for them to literally stab you in the back or push potassium on you. Like, ugh. But she didn't know any better. She was so in love. And get this, ugly bitch Tyra never went to see her in jail, never talked to her again, never wrote to her after she was convicted, maybe after that phone call. If that was me and Robbie, I would false confess. I'd be like, I'm in there with my girl, and we'd fondle each other in prison and be right next to each other the whole time. And so Aileen, on the trial of the first guy she killed, this Richard guy, the lawyers asked her to give this testimony, and they were basically just using her pain against her, asking why she didn't explain the rapes in the confession. But obviously she was under duress because of her single-tooth girlfriend, Tyra. Tyra needs veneers so bad. You guys have to go you just have to look at the one tooth that's hanging from her gum right in the middle. And she thinks she deserved Aileen. You think that you're better than our girl, Aileen? So Aileen's called to the stand, to give this harrowing testimony about being brutally raped from a John that refused to pay her. So she was like, whatever. He picked her up on the side of the road. They had sex in the back. He didn't want to pay her, and then tied her up, tied a rope around her neck, started choking her, then tied her to the steering wheel, her hands to the steering wheel, then continued to rape her. So bloody, she said there were sores and tears everywhere. Then he took a bottle of Visine with rubbing alcohol and squirted it up her vagina and up her nose and said he was going to save her eyes for later. Also, Aileen said that he anally raped her, but then before she was executed, she was like, I need to make it right with God. And she was like, okay, maybe I told one little lie. He didn't actually rape me up the butt. But nobody cares. She was like, I was just obviously stressed out on the stand thinking about the tragedies of rape, and sodomy was fresh on my mind. I'm like, honestly, understandable. This is the thing, is she is believable. Because she's never, maybe she lied about sodomy, but she never lied about killing these men. She's not she's pretty unapologetic about it. This was self-defense. But when she was giving this emotional, disgusting testimony at what she's been through, the lawyer didn't even flinch. I mean, she was sobbing. This was, I had to pause it. It was heartbreaking to hear what people are capable of. And then the lawyer said that he didn't think that murdering this Richard guy was a crime of passion, but a crime of absolute control and domination. What woman can dominate a man? Literally, physically. She was the one tied to the steering wheel, getting burning alcohol shoved up her pussy. We're not dominating anyone like that. It's disgusting and depraved, and she is definitely going to get a yeast infection, among other things. Oh, and he's like, I believe she wasn't hurt. I don't think she was hurt. Do you have ears? Do you have literally at least a couple chambers in your heart? It doesn't seem like it. But this legendary journalist, Michelle, I don't know, she did Dateline. She's just incredible. She took it upon her to do lots of research. about this case because she likes to expose, corruption, and asked this idiotic prosecutor of a lawyer who prosecuted her for this Richard guy, like if Richard, the guy that Aileen killed, had any criminal record. And he goes smugly, of course, shit-eating face, not that I know of. Doesn't sound definitive. So then, after he says that, she replies, oh, well, I looked into it, and he was convicted for sexual assault and attempted rape and spent 10 years in prison for criminal deviance because he's a danger to society. I'm going to be sick. This lawyer didn't know that this dead man had a criminal record. He didn't believe that this man was capable of hurting Aileen or that she was in any kind of danger when he was literally in prison for 10 years because of this exact act. He said he like confesses some sick, disgusting things, like he wants to go in the gas chamber, and if they let him go, he will continue to be sexually deviant, and that's what he did. Like, what? And the kicker was that this journalist found these documents in this lawyer's office. Make it make sense. We just hate women. We hate women. Aileen didn't get a fair trial with a good lawyer. She had a good lawyer, but she was a woman, and the lawyer was fired for no reason at all because the courts have the ability to do those things. And it's just another tale. It's just another tale of having a labia. But she also Aileen wasn't scared to stick up for women. She was like, they don't care about us. They don't care about sex workers. Like, she did, say her testimonies time and time again. She never backed down in court. Like, I guess until the end, and she was so over it because they were going to try. Like, she was going to go all through these trials and retrials for every single man. And she was like, I've already been sentenced to death once. How many times can you kill me? Literally. So I think just, at the end, naturally, she gave up. She was like, fuck this shit. I want to die. She made right with God, which, I don't blame her. Being close to death makes you spiritual. And she has a history of being a bad bitch. So she's not some, religious freak. And then she has one last interview where she's kind of like, I gotta tell the truth. I'm like, God damn it, Aileen, what is going on? She's like, I gotta tell the truth because I gotta meet my maker and I have to. She is so us. She's really so us, just so guilty, and be like, okay, sit down. I gotta tell you the truth. She's like, I wasn't sodomized. We're like, who cares? The second guy she killed didn't rape her, but he was hitting her with a lead pipe. Again, self-defense, who cares? And one of the other guys also didn't rape her, but was a drug smuggler. And she can't even stand the sight of Advil. So again, who cares? He would have died. And these men are symbols of all of the men who have hurt her and done her wrong in the past. So she was like, you know what? I am a serial killer and I would continue to kill. And I'm like, honestly, snaps. Like, she's so honest about it. I do believe she'd probably, keep whacking them. Even though we as women do not agree maybe for her actions, but we can still have emotion and feel bad for her and realize how unfairly she was treated. And that's called nuance. So that's our girl, Aileen. Ugh, you guys, I'm tired. I don't know if you enjoyed this or not, but speak to you soon.